We're about ready to get into our final game of round number 9 of the Swiss. The final round, final game is going to be Orange taking on Lilhearthie. Lilhearthie started up 2-0. Orange has managed to battle back with his Paladin deck, and now it's going to be Orange's Paladin taking on Lilhearthie's Hunter. We are jumping right into this one, so we do not know all of the details. We don't have deck lists, but you know what? That makes it all the more fun. We've gotten to see Orange on stream a couple times this weekend, and I believe these guys are in that 6-2 range, where the winner here has a shot at making top 16. Depending on their tiebreakers, the loser, unfortunately, will be out of that running, but still has still in the contention for top 32 and some points. Orange has an odd Paladin. Lilhearthie, I believe that's a Death Rattle Hunter, and this does then favor the odd Paladin quite a bit.
Yeah, this is do or die time for both these players. Both these players, game number 5, are wanting this win because I believe it will secure one of them into the top 16. I believe both of them have fairly decent tiebreakers. I'm not quite sure about Lilhearthie's, but I know Orange started off the day fairly strong. So I imagine that, Lilhearthie, if he takes this down, I believe he would have been, one of the ones later on. I don't think Lilhearthie started off 0-2, but we're going to get straight into game number 5. Orange on the odd Paladin, Lilhearthie on that Death Rattle Hunter. Notorious matchup we have seen over and over throughout the rounds of Swiss.
For the Death Rattle Hunter to win this one, they need to find Deathstalker Rexxar Candle Shot early on to mitigate the hero power from the Paladin. Witchwood Grizzly is potentially pay dirt if you can get it to stick and hit Carnivorous Cube plus a Death Rattle Activator. But that is a tall order, very difficult, and generally this one does go in favor of the Paladin.
Yeah, typically this is fairly Paladin favored. I'd probably go about 60-40 to say. And it's just one of those things where Hunter doesn't necessarily deal with the wide board states that well. Now there is the Deathstalker Rexxar. We see get picked up right there.
Good opening from Lilhearthie.
It's a good opening from him as well. Yes, you're right. We'll be able to tracking, find a... Oh, you look at this, you want to take that Candle Shot. But giving up Witchwood Grizzly and Katharina,
and
I think you have to do it. But that was rough.
If you don't take Candle Shot, I don't know that you'd live to get to Katharina.
You're not wrong.
The light protects me. But Katharina, in almost every other matchup, is the best card in the deck for the Hunter. So giving that one up stings. Lilhearthie going to be looking for Terror Scale Stalker and Play Dead to get some use out of that Devilsaur Egg. Challenge the board with the Devilsaurs as long as you can.
Another way you can win this matchup is by cheating out the Devilsaur Egg and then applying a lot of pressure through something like a follow-up Terror Scale Stalker and Play Dead, because Paladin, they're not going to be able to answer those minions, and you kind of push them face and hope Paladin doesn't have necessarily that late game to kind of get there.
There is a counter pressure strategy in this matchup for sure. Not as common as playing defensively, but playing defensively doesn't work out very well a lot of the time. That's why this matchup is quite bad for the Hunter.
Hunter's not really a defensive kind of deck. It's more of a offense-oriented kind of deck. It really strives on generating some very powerful board states and capitalizing on those. And we see Orange there just committing both of these because he does have access to the coin. Will be able to level this board up on the following turn. Lilhearthie doesn't have an enabler for that egg. Got to clean up one of the Silverhand recruits. But this is a powerful, powerful level up coming out from Orange. This is why he kept it in the mulligan, to try and end this game as quickly as possible. That's what Paladin aims to do.
It looks like it might work here.
On turn 4. Is he going to trade?
The trade protects against the Magnetized Ziliax or Carnivorous Cube.
That is true. We saw Gallon earlier on not trade into one of those in a very similar situation, not quite the same. And I believe Orange feels as if he has enough follow-up to this afterwards that he can end the game, especially with double Blessing of Might. Having he'll actually be one off lethal with that, with a double Blessing of Might on the following turn if Lilhearthie were to play nothing. So definitely, strong recognition from Orange to say, hey, you know what, I don't necessarily need to push this 3 damage face. I'd rather try and play around some crazy kind of shenanigans where maybe double Play Dead plus an Argus or something
Orange
like that.
is far enough ahead. His hand is quite good. As long as he has 2 minions on board, he's going to Fungalmancer and push. or potentially Boisterous Bard, double Blessing of Might to make the board a little bit more resilient. And what does Lilhearthie do here? Zilliax can clear up one of the recruits, buy him a little bit of time, and then he goes into Deathstalker Rexxar, which
a little bit of time.
Can change things. Can certainly change things.
Oh, that's a Leroy Jenkins. That is a Leroy.
Damage, as Admirable would say.
2 Mites and a Fungal Mancer.
I'm thinking this is Boisterous Bard, and how? If you Bard and trade over the 3/4 recruit, that's just asking for Deathstalker Rexxar to come down on curve.
I think it's Fungal Mancer, the Argent Squire, and the 3/3, and then trade in the 3/1 and just push this damage face. This is your strongest against Rexxar, while also just, you know, making it very, very tough for Lilhearthie to deal with. And right now, Lilhearthie does not have a way to deal with this.
So he has to play Rexxar, and then hope that he finds follow-up like Cave Hydra plus Vicious Fledgling, or Vicious Scalehide, things like that, to be able to clear board and heal. Orange is able to push 8 damage through this with a maximum of 9 from hand. That's 17. And Lilhearthie is going to be at 20. Or sorry, 9 damage actually with the, yeah. Leroy Blessing of Might, 8 on board, 17. Oh, it's been a long day. It's not lethal.
Not quite lethal just yet, but Lilhearthie has to commit to this. It is going to have to be quite the miracle beast for Lilhearthie to have a chance. I mean, unless there's some draw I'm missing. Maybe Terror Scale and you can Defender of Argus. That's a potential line of play.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure Orange would be able to kill through that too.
Probably, because it looks like he's going to save the Leroy for the lethal finish next turn, and this turn he's just able to build up the board, get the Blessing of Mights down.
Doesn't even necessarily need to get the Blessing of Mights down. Could just, you know, play out the minions and go Leroy double Blessing of Might next turn.
There's no punish. There's no Unleash the Hounds in the deck for Lilhearthie.
The light protects me.
Boisterous Bard.
Shiny, shiny, lovely loot.
Lilhearthie needs a Miracle Beast here. Does that change anything?
No, that's not good enough. Well, maybe with Houndmaster Shaw, you get to clear up 3 minions. But he
that's not the one.
Up a very bad one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Leroy double Blessing of Might. That is game and the series for Orange. From an 0-2 deficit in the series, he comes back in 3-0s with this odd palette, and this deck looking really good so far this weekend. And Orange now will wrap up this tournament with a 7-2 record, I believe. That should put him in a fairly good spot for that top 16. Orange potentially landing in another top cut here at DreamHack. He's a former DreamHack champion, and it just seems like this is his home turf. This is where he continues to do well. He thrives in the last hero standing format. And even though it wasn't a clean, you know, 9-0, 8-1 over the course of the weekend, 7-2 is very, very strong performance. So congratulations to Orange on that one. Lilhearthie, we didn't get to see much of him, but he looked like he was having a good time. Seemed like he wasn't too down about that loss, even though that was maybe a bit of a harder one to take. But that is officially going to be the end of our 9 rounds of Swiss here at DreamHack Atlanta. When we come back, we will have the official top 16 players for you. We will be playing through at least one of the top 16 matches on stream. We don't have a ruling exactly on how many of those games we will be playing out, but we'll let you know. As of now, we're going to be taking a 20-minute break to allow the top 16 players to see the bracket, look at their opponents' decks, get a little bit of time to rest, maybe get a drink of water and some food, and basically just prepare for their upcoming matches, because now it is single elimination. The winners of their matches today in the top 16 move on to the top 8 tomorrow and will all be streamed matches. So take a break. When we come back, top 16.